Good afternoon, a very warm welcome to the final stage of the Arctic Race of Norway. Today we start in Lødingen. It's known as the biking town, located in the northern part of Nordland, facing the sunny side of Vestfjorden, Ofotfjorden and Kjellsundet. Mountains in the background, and it's the gateway to Lofoten, and many people start their touristic journey here when they visit this area. Lødingen Church, built in 1897. Let's take a look back then at what has happened in this race. Stage number one, it was all about the Flying Dutchman. Mathieu van der Poel took the first stage and took on the leader's jersey. Stage two, Danny van Poppel did some cyclocross. Brian Cockard raced across the line to take the sprint. Yesterday was about Norway's Mini Von 2. The pictures were spectacular. Van der Poel cracked and a Norwegian rode to the top of the climb. Odd Christian Eiking conquered the mountain. Warren Barguil now is in the Midnight Sun jersey as the leader of the race, but he has a slender advantage, only 3 seconds on Alexei Lutsenko of Astana. Let's take a look then at today's stage. From Lødingen to Narvik, we finished here in 2015. Along the way, 3 intermediate sprints, so there are 9 bonus seconds on offer on the way to Narvik. And there are also a number of King of the Mountains. It's going to be quite a tough day. 6 King of the Mountains in total to end the race. 26 points on offer. So Stephen Cummings is under a little bit of pressure to hold on to that jersey. Once we get into Narvik, we do 3 laps of this city, including the first category climb of Skistua. Looking down on the start town in Lødingen. There is the church that we just mentioned, 1897. It was built in a cruciform style. Stands out by the white colouring here in the centre of Lødingen. And the peloton now just rolling out for the neutralised section. There was a little bit of chat that Mathieu van der Poel would not take to the start today because he's been sick. He was ill the night before yesterday's stage, but he is in the peloton looking for another stage victory. Up there on the top of Strandinstinden, some locals dressed in national costumes, waving the riders good luck and greeting all of us across the world. This is the highest peak on Hanoia, Norway's largest island. Still the snow is there at the top of the peak. A little bit windy up there, but everyone enjoying the Arctic Race of Norway and greeting it, as they always do, with a warm welcome. A stunning backdrop as always. The colours are superb today. The snow-capped peaks still not melted even at this time of the season. And a wonderful rainbow as well across the water as we take a look at the race. Now we've got a breakaway group. And these are the riders who are in that breakaway. So number 4, Ugahula, 12 Weiderberg, 35 Slagter, 54 Kozetkov, 73 is in there. So is 86 Van Stad, 96 Van Asbrook, 104 Van Hecker, 111 Van der Poel, 116 for Garda, 136 is Hemstetter, Lemoyne is in there, so is Mortier, and so is Irazar. A fast group, Van der Poel in the green jersey. Something impressive, hanging out of the helicopter. And on the front of the peloton is the Arkea Samsic team. They're doing the chasing. 123 now the advantage with 94 kilometers to go. Now out on the course so far, there's already been an intermediate sprint, and there has also been a King of the Mountains point. And the intermediate sprint secured Warren Barguil with 2 bonus seconds. The Astana team rode to try and put Lutsenko into a winning position, and as they raced into that intermediate sprint, he didn't manage to do it. Pascalon took the sprint, Barguil took 2 seconds and 2 points, and Nielands took 1, which means that Barguil is now the leader. There's confirmation of that. Pascalon, Barguil and Nielands. So Barguil now leads by 5 points, 5 seconds, sorry, and 16 seconds to Nielands. There is Van der Poel. It's been very, very quick. We're around 20 minutes ahead of schedule. "14 riders in this breakaway. There's also been a King of the Mountains climb so far. That was taken by Weiderberg ahead of Slagter and Van der Poel. Stephen Cummings then under a little bit more pressure. Weiderberg is now on 6, Cummings is on 12. But the fact that Weiderberg is out here in the breakaway means that Cummings is under pressure to hold on to that jersey. Maybe he's waiting towards the end of the stage. We're heading now towards our second climb of the day. That's the Balta Scaret, which is a first category climb. 5 points on offer, 5, 3 and 1 for the first 3 riders across the line. Stavika Salmon Farm. This is owned by Northern Lights Salmon and Sorletfisk. Salmon farming in this area, pretty huge. Balta Scaret, 2 kilometers in length, a steep one, 7.6% its average gradient. Mathieu van der Poel obviously feeling better than he did. He had a head cold when he woke up yesterday morning. But he's obviously decided, okay, let's get started, get out there on the road. And then we can see how we feel as the race continues. He's one of those tough bike riders who rides in the winter all the time, so he's not really bothered too much by not feeling 100%. Hugo Hüller, there he is, 30 seconds down on the classification. He's in a great position here. Rode well yesterday. He's 5th overall for Astana, Canadian rider. And he's been riding really strongly over the last few days. Astana are in a brilliant position. They have Lutsenko in 2nd place, Hüller in 5th, Magnus Cort Nielsen in 6th. So they have a few different cards that they can play on the run into today's finish. On the front of the peloton, Israel and Arkea are doing the chasing. No surprises there. Astana seem to be sitting back now because they've got Hugo Euler in the breakaway. Best climber classification coming up. Inkhorn sitting on the back. Just in front of him is Van Asbroek. Israel Cycling Academy clearly planning for the future now. But Arkea with Maxime Bouet and Connor Swift on the front. Then it's Guy Sajeev of the Israel Cycling Academy. The fact that Barguil has already scored 2 bonus seconds stands him in excellent stead for the run into the finish. It was pretty much expected that Lutsenko would take the first points and the first bonus seconds, and then Barguil would be in a really dangerous position. But he's obviously gone out early and thought, OK, let's bring this one on. Top of this climb is at 90.5 kilometers. Van Asbroek sitting towards the back for the Israel Cycling Academy, Belgian rider. 29 years of age, has won Cholet Pays de la Loire and a stage of the Tour de Wallonie, as well as a stage of Poitou-Charentes. Comes from Aalst in Belgium. Here we are heading towards the top of the climb then. This is the second King of the Mountains. And it looks like the acceleration is coming from Van Hekke. He seems to have gone up the road. Everyone looking around. Slagter is also up there. So it's Slagter from, again, number 12, Weideberg. And then it's Van Hekke. Now that King of the Mountains point attracted 5 points, so 5, 3 and 1 with a points situation that time. That now puts Slagter on 7, so he's moving up the standings all the time. Weideberg now is endangering the lead of Cummings. He's on 9, and Van Hekke scores 1 point, and Van der Poel has also scored 1 point now. So the situation is that Cummings leads, Odd Christian Eiking second, then it's Warren Barguil, Alexei Lutsenko and Slagter, but now we see Weideberg slot into 3rd place, so he's in 3rd. So Cummings, Eiking, Slagter, and then it's Barguil, Lutsenko and Slagter is the race situation. It's going to be an interesting competition as we continue now, because Slagter's trying really hard here to pick up the maximum points each time. so that he eventually will beat Weiderberg in the King of the Mountains competition and keep the jersey with dimension data, which of course Bernie Eisel has stated as their intention from day number 1. 2 climbs down. Next climb on the horizon will be the Skodebergvatnet, another second category climb with 3 points on offer. Schetter at the team car. This is part of our Artscape Nordland again. We just saw the circle that forms a basic shape of the sculpture. And it's called the 7 Magical Points by Marthia Aiha. It's like a reflection or a shadow of the disk of the sun. Front of the peloton under sunshine, and a little bit messy and scrappy there as we look down on it from the helicopter. Not flat out pace, and a couple of teams trying to take control of proceedings to keep this breakaway as close as possible. We're working our way down to Narvik now. First crossing of the line will be with 31.5 kilometers to go. Plenty to happen before then as we make our way into the next tunnel. A few tunnels on this road all the way down to Narvik. This tunnel only around 200 meters. So this is the 100th anniversary Statskog cabin. This cabin was set for Narvik's 100-year anniversary in 2006. One of over 100 cabins in Statskog. The area is a popular recreational area and offers many good fishing lakes. The local Hunter and Fishermen Association, through a number of years, have cultivated the waters here and put out fish from their own hatchery, but it's a nice place to stay. As you can see, very much in nature in the Statskog cabin. And you could go out on the waters, or you can just do what our editors have been doing over the last week. They've had a bit of a Norwegian adventure, and they've taken a big camper van with all their edit kit in it, and each night they've been having barbecues and fishing. Very much at home and with nature over the last week. This is our leading group of 14. Thanks to Andy Smith, who works with us on the Tour de France. Following yesterday's revelations that a Bounty Bar can win you world titles, and Mathieu van der Poel taking chocolate from the team car, loads of you last night were messaging me about this, and it's still continuing. And Andy's looked out some recent research that shows that the UK's favourite chocolate bar is actually a Mars bar, which came ahead of Galaxy, Dairy Milk and Snickers. And Snickers was the other choice that Van der Poel was given yesterday, but his team director had that instead. And that Bounty Bar is outside the top 10 and normally only really popular with pensioners until now. And suddenly sales of Bounty Bars are going to increase massively in the cycling community, purely down to Mathieu Van der Poel, showing that you can finish many races as the winner, if indeed that's what you eat. It may well have been a one-off, I'm not sure. He hasn't answered anything on Twitter about it, but pretty much everyone else out there has. So thank you for all your messages. It was one of those moments of revelation. If anyone would like to message in, if any of you sitting out there think, right, let's get involved in the action, @Ant McCrossan is where I am on Twitter and on Instagram. Some of you have sent me messages on Instagram, others on Twitter, but it's been a pleasure talking to you over the last few days. This race has got a lot to go yet. Still poised with only 5 seconds between the two front riders. Lutsenko's not going to go down without a fight here. There's no doubt about that. This is going to be a proper bike race today. We've covered a range of topics, mainly generated by all of you, and for that I thank you very much. Caravan is coming into the finish. Maxime Bouet doing his work with Guy Sajiv on the front. Arkea have got a big day out here. Try and secure Warren Barguil the win in this Arctic Race of Norway. This gap, though, is coming down quite significantly. Here's August Jensen making his way back into the group. Very hard for these riders to be delivering bottles at the moment. The pace is pretty relentless. They covered over 50 kilometers in the first hour, and they've not really held back in this entire race. After 521 kilometers at the race start this morning, the average speed was 45.743 kilometers an hour. And I still make it that we are around 16 minutes ahead of schedule. Couple of riders going clear. Vergada of Corendon Circus there at the front, and Lemoine of Cofidis just trying to accelerate a little. They're not happy with the way this race is, I think. Now another rider coming up. They want to split this up a little bit if they possibly can. The next climb is not too far away. They want to keep the pressure on as much as possible. Up towards the front also is Kozhetkov of the Katusha Alpecin team. We're going to go over Skotterberg Vanette, and then we're going to go through the feed down towards a series of tunnels between 38.5 kilometers to go and 35 kilometers. Then we come into Narvik with 31.5 kilometers to go. We go through the finish line. Then we do laps. They include the Ski Stewer Summit. We're going to go over that 3 times before we bring the race to its proper conclusion. Kind of trying to work out why these teams are chasing so hard to bring this back. Could be the worry of Hugo Hüller in the breakaway group. Chief Butler, thank you for your message. If Mathieu van der Poel wins, can we go on to rename him the Bounty Hunter? I think we're going to do that anyway. That's a perfect name. Another attack. And Le Moine of Cofidis wants to break this race up if he can. Becoming a much more attacking team. I think I'm right in saying it's Cedric Vasseur's birthday today, who is the manager of, or team director of Cofidis. Obviously trying to give him a birthday present. Little red huts down on the water, these traditional little cottages that everyone stays in, little summer homes. Some people live in them full time. And heading over the peaks that are in this region. Yesterday, if you ever get the chance to go to Storheia, do try, because it was a stunning place to be. On the front then, and going clear, is Irizar of the Euskadi Murias team. Stretching this out a little more. Tucks in on the wheel. This is Julien Irizar. He's the rider in the green, and he's won a stage of the Grand Premio de Portugal. So far this season, an interesting programme, including Oman and Bessèges. He's ridden 46 race days for his team. His contract ends at the beginning of this year, but then many of the continental teams like this have their contracts year to year rather than a 2-year contract. Heading then towards the climb, the Skotterberg Venet, 1.3 kilometres, 6.5% its average. This is where we really need to keep an eye on what's happening with this classification. Slagter needs to keep scoring the maximum points. This time we're going on to a second category climb. There's 3, 2 and 1 on offer at the top of this rise. Seems to me that this front group is too big because everyone is attacking each other. This is Weiderberg at the front. There's no real cohesiveness in it. 31 seconds, so it's starting to come back together pretty sharpish. And I think there are riders interested in trying to take the King of the Mountains points, and Weiderberg knows that he needs to try and stay away. One long line of riders as we make our way towards the climb. It's our third climb of the day. This race doesn't really have the pattern that you would expect normally in a bike race, which is great. It's animated and there's a lot going on. Now from the Yoka team, up towards the front, trying to set the pace is Vangstad. I think they probably expected to be away for a lot longer today. Right on the back of the group is Vejo. And now going clear, Jumbo-Visma's Enkhorn. Joined by Weiderberg. And Weiderberg is looking for these points, because this time if he takes it, then he will move on to a total of 12, and he'll be equal on points with Stephen Cummings. Mortier. Look at this. Pascal Enkhorn, the support vehicle coming up from Mavic. Slagter is in there. Slagter wants to ensure that Weiderberg does not score the maximum points. He's doing a great team job for Stephen Cummings at the moment. He's tracking everything, and so far he has secured first on King of the Mountains 2 and second on King of the Mountains 1. So he's basically trying to protect his teammate's position until we get onto the finishing circuit, where he hopes that Cummings will manage to secure the jersey. Van der Poel then sits up. 3 riders are clear. Enkhorn, Weiderberg and Slagter. Tommy Elter Slagter, winner of the Tour Down Under. This group about to be caught. I reckon that Slagter's been told, just sit in the wheels. He's just talking into his race radio then. Slagter very aware of what's happening here. He knows he really needs to take these points from Weiderberg. If not, Cummings is in the back foot. Weiderberg will go equal on points. Interesting race so far, the way this is being shaped, as we see Warren Barguil moving up on the right-hand side in the Midnight Sun jersey and trying to put himself in a strong position at the front of the peloton. This is our leading group. Weiderberg of Uno X, Slagter of Dimension Data and Enkhorn of Jumbo-Visma on the right-hand side in the yellow with the black shorts. And Enkhorn starts to ride. Conversations going on. I think Weiderberg trying to get Slagter to go through, and I think he basically said, no thanks, I'm happy where I am. Barguil on the left-hand side, next to Maxime Bouet. Barguil having a conversation with the Wanty Group riders. Slagter waiting to see who comes up. Now we get another counter-attack. More riders jumping away now. They're so close. They can literally ride across. On the front for the team of Yoka, it is Vangstad. Vangstad, followed by Weiderberg, followed by the rider from Israel Cycling Academy, Van Asbroek. .500 metres to the top. John Le Bon has gone clear for the Vital Concept team. Everyone else is just sitting and relaxing. Here goes Slagter. Slagter really giving this full acceleration. He knows he needs the points at the top, and the rider from X is not able to respond to this at all. Everyone else looking around. Slagter is going to go over the top of the climb. He takes another 3 points. That puts him on 10. Weiderberg takes 2. That puts him on 11. So still not equal on terms with Cummings. Cummings still is in the King of the Mountains jersey. Cummings on 12, Weiderberg 11, King and Slagter now on 10. Mathieu van der Poel back in the peloton. This gap has gone out to 1:15 now, as Hugo Euler asks for a team car. So he wanted to have a little discussion. Six riders on the attack now. Here's our breakaway group. This is our breakaway group of riders now. 6 riders on the attack with 73 kilometers go, and suddenly they've got 127. And that leading group contains Weiderberg of X, Tom Jelte of Slagter, 116 Vergade of Corendon Circus. Then we've got Van Asbroek, then we've got Enkhorn, and we've also got Vangstad. 6 riders on the attack. In this front group of riders, Tom Van Asbroek, the 29-year-old Belgian rider, winner of Cholet Pays de la Loire in 2014 and a stage winner in Tour de Wallonie in 2014. Rode previously for EF Education First. Has also ridden for Lotto NL Jumbo and Top Sport Vlaanderen in his career as we go through the feed. The musettes over the shoulders. Now we're going to head down towards the tunnels at Bjervik. And then it's a run down to Narvik. Bjervik, where lots of us had dinner last night because myself and our cameraman decided that we would go to Torhushoff's favourite burger place in Bjervik, which we like very much. I'm not sure everyone liked it, but we thought it was great. For those of you just joining us, Warren Barguil has taken a 2-second time bonus. So he's now 5 seconds ahead of Alexei Lutsenko, but I think Astana still believe that Lutsenko can win this race. They've just got to manoeuvre it. There are still 2 time bonuses and a time bonus on the finish to come, so there's still 16 seconds on offer at the end of this race. There's a few riders pulling some faces here. This is Olaf Hjelmstetter. This has not been an easy race. With an average speed of over 47 kilometers an hour, this is not simple in any shape or form. It's been a really tough bike race with everyone racing hard. They've been waiting all day to cheer these riders on. Into the feeding zone. Arkea, I would say for one of the first times this season, looked like a really cohesive, well-organised team. Now they really have to bring this one home for Warren Barguil. The race situation then, 6 leaders as we've mentioned, then behind them a group of 3 with Koshekov of Katusha Alpecin, Molly of Valny Bruxelles, and also in that group Le Bon of Vital Concept. They're 30 seconds behind. And they're coming across, and they're coming across quickly, and the peloton now at 1 minute and 35 seconds. Tom Jelter-Slagter on the front of the group. "30 years of age now. Dutch rider, comes from Groningen. Peloton in one long line. Look, the pace is pretty hefty. Unusual to see a Swiss flag here at the side of the road, but we did. Now Astana really starting to drill this. You have to be vigilant at the front. The speed so far, the average speed, 46.88 kilometers an hour. This is fast. Continually fast, this race. We've said that every day. We've never seen a steady stage. It's been flat out from the minute the flag dropped on day number 1 in Ur. Tom Jelter-Slagter second wheel, turned pro in 2010 with the Rabobank Continental team. Then he moved into their World Tour team, stayed there till he moved to Garmin Sharp that became Cannondale. And then he moved to Dimension Data in 2018. He's won some great races, twice a stage winner in Paris-Nice. He won the Santos Tour Down Under. He's also won stages in that race as well as stages in Tour de Haute-Var. He's a rider that I think many thought might have been a Grand Tour contender at one point, but it's never really become his thing. He's more of a worker, and he takes his opportunity when he can. But he's in this breakaway, and he's getting closer to the King of the Mountains jersey. If these riders can make their way down to Narvik, then there's a good opportunity for them to stay away. But you kind of get the sense that Lutsenko and Barguil will want to race this one out, particularly Lutsenko, who's a proper bike racer. He'll love this sort of finish where he's got a chance to win. Interestingly, a few riders with disc brakes on in this front group. Still well ahead of schedule this afternoon. You can see by the way everyone's riding, if you are suffering at the back with sore legs, then right now you will not be enjoying the pace the way it's being led. I think we've got a tailwind by the looks of the flags at the side of the road. Astana probably not happy that they've let this out so much, because they need the bonus seconds. They need Lutsenko to be in a position to go on the attack through Narvik. That's what they're trying to do, is bring this race back together. And in the team car, I reckon Fofanov has said, guys, you've missed this, you need to bring this back, and you need to bring it back as quickly as you possibly can. That's why we're now in one long line. Interesting racing. Thank you for your messages over the last few days. At Ant McCrossan is where you can get hold of me, on Twitter or on Instagram if you would like to. And Astana now really drilling this even more than before. Up at the front, it's a little bit calmer. Just to remind you of the breakaway group. Weideberg in the colours of Uno X. Tom Jelter-Slagter of Dimension Data. Vergade of Corendon Circus. Number 96, Van Asbroek of Israel Cycling Academy. Inkhorn of Jumbo-Visma. And also in this front group, Vangstad of Yoka. Jonas Weideberg, only 20 years of age. Rides for this Uno X team. He's had a nice race programme this year with 23 race days, but rode some of the smaller races, the Nations Cup races, because he's a young rider. He's ridden Liège-Bastogne-Liège as an under-23. He's ridden Ghent-Wevelgem. Also the Paris-Roubaix Espoirs. He was 10th in the Paris-Roubaix Espoirs, which was won by Tom Pidcock, British rider who's certainly showing well in the Tour de l'Avenir at this moment in time. Yesterday, Pidcock and Ethan Hayter took 1-2 in the Tour de l'Avenir stage. Bit of lunch being taken on whilst they put this huge turn in for Astana. Look at the faces on some of these riders. This is hurting, and it's hurting a lot. Lutsenko looks comfortable. Over there on the right-hand side, Van der Poel is sitting towards the back. He's certainly not been well, despite going in that breakaway early. He obviously decided to try and get up the road. Wasn't banking on getting caught again. Over on the right-hand side, our red number, Bleekra. He was the last man standing yesterday. Lots of snow up here in this area as our group continues. On the back of the group, Otto Vergade, Belgian rider, 25 years of age, 15th in the Belgian Tour. His first season with Corendon Circus. Just finished 4th with the team in the European Championships mixed team relay. Finished second in the prologue of the Tour Alsace. So he's had a few places. 10th overall in the Tour of Antalya in Turkey. And the icy water's melting down this area. Well, we're back to 1 minute 25, and that's where we were at 103 kilometers to go. Everything almost came back together. Now it's gone back out. We've lost a load of riders out of the group, 8 of them in total. We've lost Hugo Hüller, who was a problem, but now Astana are chasing exactly where they were at 103 kilometers. And we're now at 63 kilometers to go. So 40 kilometers and nothing's really changed. We still have a breakaway group, albeit 8 riders smaller, but it's pretty much the same. We are riding in some really dark clouds now. The weather forecast doesn't say it's going to rain, but it looks like it could. The 3 chasers are now only 15 seconds behind, so they are going to make the junction. Here is the leader of the race, Warren Barguil, with a 5-second advantage. That was subject to his winning that 2-second time bonus. He has a little bit of a buffer. There are still 2 more bonus sprints to come and the bonus seconds on the finish line. On motorbike, zooming across to see where everyone is. This is the gap to the leading group of riders. As we come up to the wheel of Pascal Ancorn, the stage winner in the Colorado Classic, general classification winner in the Olympias Tour, and a stage winner in the Italian race Settimana Internazionale Coppi e Bartoli. 22 years of age, Pascal Ancorn, pro since 2018. He won stage 1 of the Hammer series in Stavanger. Looks like Van der Poel just wants to get to Narvik. Sitting a lot further back than he was. Hugo Hüller. See just how fast it is. Now here come the chasers, and just to remind you, the 3 chasers coming up are Kozetkov of Katusha Alpecin, Molly of Wallonie Bruxelles, and Le Bon. These three chasers have had a really long chase, but they're eventually going to get there. Six are going to become 9. We originally had 14. Then we had 6. Now we're going to have a group of 9 again, which might start to get unmanageable, and then we'll get more attacks. The break becomes 9. There's Lutsenko, second overall, just having a little bit more food. The peloton just looking up the road. I'm wondering how accurate this time check is, because it looks to me like the peloton are coming back very, very fast. The pace has gone out of this leading group. Shetkov on the front, trying to get some urgency into it. Kozetkov, 33 years of age for Katusha Alpecin. Still Astana working hard. He was the national road race champion of Russia in 2016. He's won a stage of the Tour of Bulgaria. As we take a look here at Odd Christian Eiking, the stage winner of yesterday. His first win of the season. This is coming down very, very fast. 40 seconds is the advantage. The team of Astana, Lutsenko, Fomenik, Vilzi, Euler, Natarov and Nielsen. Mathieu van der Poel sitting in the wheels. Flat out now. 35 seconds, they can see the breakaway. Those three riders who've just got there will be pretty disappointed. Kozetkov, Molly and Le Bon. It's not going to happen. The race is going to come back together. We're going to hit the line with 31.5 kilometers to go. So 28 kilometers until we get to this Narvik finish line. This is Krits Nielands, the Israel Cycling Academy rider. Only 15 seconds down, this race can still be his. And everyone looking after Stephen Cummings here for Dimension Data. He's got some work to do now when he gets to this finishing circuit, if this race comes back together. Krits Nielands, 25 years of age, former Latvian champion, now the Latvian champion's Tom Skoins. Winner of the Tour of Hungary, twice a stage winner there as well. Winner of a stage of the Tour of Azerbaijan. And has been the individual time trial champion of Latvia now, so he won that this season. So he still gets to wear the Latvian champion's colours. You can see how fast this is. The speed they're going through. It's one of those days when you do a turn, literally go to the front, swing off, that's it. And you're just trying to find some way of getting a little bit of rest, a micro rest for the legs. Astana don't want to keep having to do this. They're in a situation here where they are bringing it back, and then they bring it back so quick. They've then got to let things calm down for a moment, but the gap then goes out to 140. This is Holman, the teammate of the day from yesterday. A nice classification, voted for by the fans. All of you can take part in that every day. This is one of those days where the commissaires are busy. They're trying to take cars in and out of gaps, and they're trying to decide when the race is coming back together to make sure everything is done properly. The TV motorbikes and all the other motorbikes are in the gap. They've got to stay as close as possible to the breakaway so that they don't draft the peloton across. It's a complex day for everyone. Little bit of rain on the camera lens. Hopefully that's not going to come to anything as we make our way past the Tjukkaneset and Torteneset salmon farms. These are owned by the Belangen Show Farm and Cermaq, Norway. Again, add to the collection of the various salmon farms we've seen around the region. Well, Astana are riding and riding hard, but they've calmed down a little bit. Kozetkov goes through for Katusha Alpecin. If you've just joined us now, a reminder of the breakaway group. 9 riders now on the attack. There was 14, it then became 6, it's now 9. In the group for Uno X, Weiderberg, then for Dimension Data, Tom Yelter Slagter. Also in the group, Vergada of Corendon Circus, Van Asbroek of Israel Cycling Academy, Inkhorn of Jumbo Visma, we have Vangstad of the Yoka team, also now having joined the group to add a bit more firepower, Kozetkov of Team Katusha Alpecin. We have Molly of the Valony Bruxelles team, and we have Le Bon of the Vital Concept team. Astana have let this go back out to 1 minute. It's a bit more manageable now. In terms of the overall general classification, a reminder then of the situation. As things stand, we have Barguil leading, Lutsenko second, now at 5 seconds. Nielands is at 16, Kalmajan at 18, Eula at 30, and Magnus Cort Nielsen at 35. But 3 Astana riders in the top 6. They have all sorts of cards to play. Total looking after the interests of Kalmajan at 4th place at 18 seconds. They're sitting up towards the front. They're the team also in blue, but with white on the kit. And Nielands there for Israel. Another blue kit, but more turquoise and white for them. Lutsenko in a white jersey with a blue band across the front, riding as the Kazakhstan national champion. A lot more rain across the fjord. Still no rain on the riders yet. As we see Van Asperen go through, the weather forecast has not really shown any rain, but the grey clouds are telling a different story. The chances of rain in the next 90 minutes, I am told on my weather forecast, as nothing. Not going to happen. But we will get heavy rain showers around 6 o'clock. Perhaps that's why the riders are racing so hard right now. They want to get this over with. "51 kilometers to go." We are still way ahead of schedule. Coming round to about 8 minutes ahead of schedule now. It was way ahead, 17 minutes at one point. It's calmed down a little. Who do you think is going to win the Arctic Race of Norway? Is it going to be this man in the picture, Lutsenko, or is Barguil going to hold on and get a huge victory, which will further boost his morale? Message me on Twitter @AntMcCrossan, or on Instagram, it's the same address. Let's find out who's going to win. All the emphasis at the moment still on Astana, while Kaya not prepared to do the work. Thanks for your messages on Twitter, Reinhardt. How does this race rate as a tour? How does it compare to a race like the Tour of Britain? In terms of rating, it's similar. So it's not any higher or lower. It does attract some top teams, though. It's a very good tour. It's a great position to be in near the World Championships. It's kind of a perfect time coming out off the back of the Tour de France. The average speed we saw earlier was 46.8. We'll see how it compares in a little while as to whether it's changing too much. Kenny Molly in the front group for Wallonie Bruxelles. 22 years of age now. No major wins in his career. He's ridden 6,600 kilometers. Finished 9th in the Paris-Trois. Has also started some of the top classics in the world. Looks to me like it's starting to rain. A little. At the finish line. Getting closer now to this finishing line. 31.5 kilometres will be the first crossing of the line, and Astana want this closed before they get there. They want a chance for Lutsenko to take the time bonus. Then they can put Lutsenko in a position to win this race. Colin Joyce wearing number 21 there. This is Bjørvik Church, built in 1955, so a relatively new church. And we've been working our way around the Oftfjorden, 78 kilometres long, and it's Norway's 12th longest fjord. There we are, we take a look at it now. It's the 18th deepest with a maximum depth of 553 metres. And in this fjord, of course, as much of Norway in this region has, it's witnessed Narvik's dramatic war history, and many ships, boats and warships were sunk here under the Battle of Narvik in 1940. At the moment on Radio Tour, as things continue, lots of thank yous being given to the various parties that have helped with the Arctic Race, the 7th edition of this race. It is a great experience to be up here in Norway. It's a warming and welcoming race. Everyone really is fully in on this race. The organisers are so proud of what they've achieved over 7 years, and it's been growing all the time. They've taken it to so many different places. They've had so much ambition to take it to the North Cape, for example, where we've been. To take it yesterday to Storheia, where there wasn't even a road. There's been a huge amount of thought gone into this race over 7 years. As Thor Hushov's told us before, he was called by a guy called Knut Erik, who tried to get hold of Thor Hushov to tell him he wanted to run a bike race in Norway. And Thor ignored him for a long time because he just thought he was some mad guy who had some crazy idea to run a bike race in the Arctic. But eventually they spoke, and he was sold on the idea. They got Thor Hushov on board as ambassador. They got ASO, the owners of the Tour de France, on board. And this race has produced this year some really exciting racing. Astana have not refused to give in yet. They believe that Lutsenko can win. They believe they can take this jersey away from Barguil. Barguil has already taken 2 bonus seconds. The flotilla of boats out on the Osterfjord as we head towards Hallowgallen Bridge. And Astana want to reach that bridge with this gap at 10 seconds or so. They want to bring this back. The peloton in full cry now. It's full gas as we head towards Narvik for the 3 laps to complete this race. If you'd like to give me your predictions as to who's going to win the Arctic race, send me them now on Twitter at @McCrossan. The current situation: Barguil first, Lutsenko second, Nylands of Israel in third, Kalmajan in fourth, Hula in fifth, Nielsen in sixth. It's got to be one of the 3, perhaps 4. Barguil, Lutsenko, Nylands or Kalmajan. The fight continues. Magnus Cort Nielsen sitting where he always does, in front of Lutsenko. All the teams forming up. Barguil sitting there in the yellow Midnight Sun jersey. Everyone's swinging across the road now. I think they sense that this is about to come back together. Slagter doesn't necessarily want it to, because there is a King of the Mountains point at 26 kilometers to go. It's a first category climb. It means there's 5 points on offer. And as things stand in the climbers competition, Cummings is on 12, Weideberg 11, Eiking on 10, Slagter on 10, Barguil on 7, Lutsenko on 7. The snow on the mountains as we head towards Narvik, which is hoping to become the host of the Ski World Championships. And Knut Erik is part of that plan. He wants to bring even more sport to this region. .25 seconds now, the advantage. It's coming down. Biggles, thanks for your message. Barguil to win. Who else is going to ask? Is going to give me that prediction as we see an attack from the front group. Going clear then for Vallony Bruxelles. This is Molly going clear. Kenny Molly attacks. Everyone else looking around, but Kenny Molly goes clear now to try and secure some points on the line. Looks smooth, looks comfortable. He searches for the back of the motorbike. Everyone at the back of this peloton just looking to see the turquoise-clad riders. Senko freewheeling. Molly has been caught, and now the cars come out. That means the gap is well under 30 seconds. 40.9 kilometers now to go. We're on an average speed of around 45 kilometers an hour. The front group's starting to fall apart. Tommy-Elter Slagter spinning across. He's done a great job to look after the interests of Cummings, but Cummings now needs to come out and fight to hold on to that jersey. A little bit more calm up here. Slagter sitting up. You think he's decided to go back to the peloton? Van Asbrook just riding up to the front. Korn's still up there. Weideberg is the danger man for the King of the Mountains for Dimension Data. Still, Astana have not been able to close this. In fact, they've now called off the chase and asked for someone else to do the chase. Zakarin hasn't recovered yet enough to show in this race. And yet again we have 4 riders. And 1 rider up the road. This is Vangstad. Rides for the Yoka team. Heading towards the tunnels. The first tunnel coming up is 300 meters, then there's one of 2.6k, and then another one of 270 meters. We're going to end up with a group of 5 riders now at the front. The city of Narvik. About to welcome the race. Hosted the race in 2015. It was a memorable stage. And a candidate for the Skiing World Championships in 2027. Narvik Fjord is a unique facility in the summer and winter, surrounded by the majestic mountains and deep fjords. It was Northern Europe's first ski resort to have a cable car in 1957 and renovated last year. So it's going to be the applicant for the Alpine World Cup in 2027. Narvik 2027, hoping to host the Alpine World Cup. Thanks, Stumpy Man, for your message. You want Lutsenko to win. You're not a fan of Warren Barguil. Heading towards Narvik now. Not far away, where a big crowd is looking to cheer the riders on. Located in the beautiful northern part of Norway, surrounded by loads of nature, steep mountains, fjords everywhere. From mid-May until the end of July, the sun never ever sets here, and it has the phenomenon known as the midnight sun. You have daylight 24/7 at that time of year. At this moment in time, you have daylight pretty much all night. You get a little bit of darkness around 2 or 3 o'clock, but nothing major. It is pretty much light. Heading over the bridge. Halogallen Bridge, a new landmark outside Narvik. It's Norway's second longest suspension bridge, 1,533 meters, inaugurated in December 2018. the geyser outside Narvik. The water passes through an 1,100-metre tunnel and 2,000-metre pipes before reaching that point, and water for the geyser exceeds 44 bars, produces enough pressure to send the water 75 metres into the air. It is used to produce some energy. The water flows after producing energy to the Narvik waterworks, where it's treated and used for drinking water. Peloton has calmed down. 25 seconds is now the lead. I thought Astana wanted to bring Lutsenko through to take this intermediate sprint. I'm not so sure now. They've called off the chase. Just trying to work out what the tactics are here. They've almost kind of brought it back and then said to everyone else, right, you need to go for the sprint. Wonderful shots of the bridge. Well, earlier on today, there was the Heroes of Tomorrow, a traditional race for the future stars. It was won in the women's category by Anna Shackley of Scotland, who beat Elise Olsen into second place. In the men's race, it was a fast race, 38.6 kilometers an hour, 2 hours and 21 minutes of racing. Eventually taken by Dennis Grasvold of Norway, who won the race on his own, 4 seconds ahead of Tord Gudmundstad and Sondre Brine. There they are on the podium. And also on the podium was Thor Hushovd and Gun Rita Dahler, who you may remember was the gold medalist in mountain biking in the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. Matthew Cox, thanks for your message. Has this race been raced at this pace in last year's? No, this is super quick. As we see the arrival of Team Coop and Vital Concept. Narvik approaches. This is where we are. As we take a look at our 3D, not far from the sprint coming up. And I think Astana have kind of asked for Vital Concept to bring this back. Problem for Holman of Katusha, who's just had a rear wheel puncture. Are they going to bring this back in time for the sprint? Vital Concept trying to put Brian Cockard into the green jersey. He needs 3 seconds, 3 points. If he does that, he'll be equal on points with Mathieu van der Poel. The two of them are on 27 points for van der Poel, 24 for Brian Cockard, but this climb on the back end of the circuit is really quite hard. It's a first category climb. So we go through the line first. Then we have the Ski Stewart Summit. Can they bring them back? Is there going to be a sprint for the line here? Vergade looking around to see where Mathieu van der Poel is. Looks like they're not going to come back. Not in time for this intermediate sprint anyway, which means we are counting them right down. Intermediate sprint is not going to happen for the peloton. So the riders make their way into Narvik to cross the line for the first time. The crowd have been waiting for them, and the leading group of 4 riders make their way across the line. The peloton not too far behind now. 11 seconds. Everyone all across the road getting themselves ready for this rise now. Everyone's got to come forward onto this ski Stewart summit, this first category climb that we're going to up 3 times. The situation in the King of the Mountains. Cummings still leads, Weiderberg second with 11, Eiking on 10, Slagter on 10. Weiderberg there at the front in the colours of Uno X. He wants to keep this away. Here's confirmation of the intermediate sprint. Vangstad of Joka took it from Inkhorn and Weiderberg. This young rider from Uno X has been involved in so much action in the last few days. I think there'll be a few World Tour teams who are watching him. Here's our provisional classification as things stand. Lusenko at 5 seconds, Nolens at 16 seconds, Barguil still the leader of the race. Cofidis now on the front. Just looking to see where the salmon pink jersey of Cummings is, because this race is coming back together, and it looks to me like Odd Christian Eiking fancies this jersey. It's perfect position now. 5 points on offer on the next climb. 15 points on offer before the finish. And the race coming back together now. Acorn is caught. Little narrow section as we go underneath the bridge. Fredo goes forward with Odd Christian Eiking. Nathan Haas on the left-hand side. He fancies to have a little go this time. He was ill last year. Now an attack from Nathan Haas. 4th place in Amstel Gold. Winner of a stage of the Tour of Oman. Puts himself into a small... Oops! Oh, Haas is in all sorts of problems there. Loses all his momentum to this 2.3 kilometre climb. He recovers. In front of them, still the leading group of 3. There's going to be a few riders going out the back now. A lot of the Israel Cycling Academy getting dropped. Enger is dropped and Sajiv is dropped too. Heidelberg wants to stay there. I can't see it happening. I also can't see Cummings, but I can see Odd Christian Eiking. Astana now starting to turn the pressure on. More riders being dropped, including Kozhetkov. Also dropped is Saugstad. There is Warren Barguil in the Midnight Sun jersey, looking comfortable at this moment. Lusenko not far away. Janssen in the Norwegian champions colour, just behind. So make their way over the next section. Mathieu van der Poel struggling. He is sick, so he's obviously not enjoying this. If Heidelberg can win this climb, he'll move himself into the mountains jersey. Can't see it happening. Moving up on the outside come Katusha Alpazin. On the back rather than the front, Stein de Volder. Mads Wirtz makes a move on the left. Odd Christian Eiking tracks him. And this is Erland Bleekerer from yesterday. Almost combative rider. Just in front of him is Skjerping. Odd Christian Eiking looks comfortable. Sits with 10 points in the climbers classification. Senko still looks like he's got everything under control. Van der Poel sitting on the back of the peloton. People going out the back and he's just kind of staying there, but he literally is flat out. The Arctic University of Norway at the foot of the Fjern mountain in Narvik. It's a technological focal point for successful companies and active students. Its big aim is to be the leading technological centre for higher education in northern Norway. Nathan Haas still on the front. Van der Poel. You wonder if he's doing himself any damage for the Worlds here, or whether he's just going to ride through it. Magnus Cort on the left-hand side. Eiking is there, still sitting comfortably. I don't see the King of the Mountains jersey anywhere in here. So it may well be that this jersey is going to disappear from dimension data as we now see another attack. Eiking immediately onto the wheel. Eiking looks comfortable. Here he goes. This is the charge to try and take the Mountains jersey. Eiking goes to the top of the climb and he takes it with 5 points. 15 points to Eiking. He goes to the top of the leaderboard. Second over the top from Rival was Eriksson, number 182, the Swedish champion. Bargiel and Lutsenko are literally joined together at the moment, the way they're riding. King of the Mountains competition, Eiking leads, coming second, Weiderberg third, then it's Slagter, then it's Bargiel, then Lutsenko. Eriksson goes clear for Rival. Eriksson glances around to see if he's doing any damage. Lucas Eriksson on the attack, 23 years of age. Twice the Swedish road race champion as we go past the Giza. On the Swedish Championships on the 30th of June. Still with an advantage. He's looking good, isn't he, Lucas Eriksson? Young rider, 23 years of age, riding for this Rival team. 59 seconds down on the general classification. Rode for SEG in 2017, which is a well-known team for feeding into World Tour. 6th overall in the Tour of Estonia. Nice attack here from Eriksson. Coming across looks like Mads Wirtz. And coming up on the wheels, as you can see just how fast this descent down here is. Everyone else looking around at each other. Amund Jansen comes to the front for Jumbo-Visma. Move on the right-hand side from Wanty. Slightly disorganised, this race. Lutsenko sitting right on the wheel of Warren Bargiel. So Eiking now leads the King of the Mountains. 15 points to Cummings' 12. And now we're racing flat out down back into Narvik. Little group of riders at the front. Also there is De Bont, right on the back of the group. Only 23 kilometres now remain. Wanty are trying to control things at the front. This is our front group. 4 riders. Oh, it's so quick through here with a little bit of rain on the road. Schmidt is in here, so it's Schmidt at the front, number 55. Also in the group is Eriksson, who we've been talking about, the Swedish champion. Making his way into the leading group also is Asfold of Team Coop. There's one other rider in there we haven't picked up on yet. 11 seconds the advantage. Wanty doing all the work. I'm trying to work out why, but the final rider is one of the Corendon Circus riders, and that is Janssens. Schmidt, Asfold, Eriksson and Janssens, the 4 riders on the move. Peloton at 7 seconds. This time round there are no intermediate bonus seconds. There won't be a sprint this time. It looks like Barguil making a little bit of a move. I don't see Lutsenko. Where is Lutsenko? Lutsenko doesn't seem to have the legs today. Normally you'd see him following every move Barguil makes. Now he comes back up. Looks to be a little bit more under pressure today. Barguil riding comfortably. Thought Lutsenko would really attack Barguil today. 500 meters to go to complete this lap. Madsvert Schmidt on the front, followed by Asfold, Eriksson and Janssens. Everyone banging the boards here in the straight, getting the atmosphere going. 2 laps to go. 21 kilometers now remain. Nathan Haas up towards the front as he crosses the line. And so far, our electric cars that have been with us have done a good job. Not far to go now in this Arctic race. We're now on an average speed of around 44 kilometers an hour. Earlier on today, we were 17 minutes ahead of schedule. Now things have calmed down. Madsvert's in here, 25 years of age now. Twice a stage winner in the Tour of Denmark. He's been a pro with the World Tour since 2017. Before that, he rode for Colt Energy and Virtue and a couple of other teams since 2013. He's had a big season this year. 10,000 kilometers in 67 days of racing at 25 years of age, and still seems to be okay. He's ridden the Dauphiné, he's ridden Tour de France, finished that recently. And finding it too much is Janssens. He's got to get himself back into the wheels, and there are riders out the back now of the peloton. 19 kilometers to go, 19 seconds. Barguil is in control. 5 seconds his lead on Lutsenko. Doesn't seem to be as sprightly as he has been over the last few days. Looks to me like Wanty fancy this stage win today. They're making it very, very hard. Well, the news overnight is that Boy Van Poppel and Danny Van Poppel are joining Wanty Group as well for next season. They're going to be reunited. Now, the 2 brothers joining the team for next season, saying that here is our climber classification. Eiking leading with 15, coming second. Coming up to the climb again. 2.3 kilometers to the summit. The pace is very, very high. As we go past the North Museum here in Narvik, located in NSB's former administration building, a monumental brick house built in 1902. And from there, great views of the harbours and the ports of the city. Colin Joyce at the back, a former stage winner here. Zakharin also towards the back. Cockard also at the back. And now Arkea Samsic come forward to try and take control. Eriksson on the left-hand side. Mads Schmidt on the right-hand side. Eriksson is the rider who has taken this group away. This is Weiderberg again trying to go clear. Looking for some points. It's not really going to happen. Arkea now are riding a different tempo. So are Wanty and Total. Total have got Lilian Kalmajan in 4th place at 18 seconds. There is Warren Barguil tracing him. Lutsenko still on his wheel. Janssen's looking strong. Mads Schmidt looks so strong. That's what the Tour de France gives you. He looks so easy on this climb. We used to say that a 25-year-old rider finishing the Tour de France and what it does for you, but now when we know that Bernal won the race, 25 seems a little bit old to be riding the Tour de France and competing for it. Bernal looked so good in the Tours. Well, Mads Schmidt though, good tempo by him. Eriksson is a great climber. You can see just how talented that young rider from Sweden is. Wanty group. Total leading, Rival also up there. But there's still the same conundrum here for Astana. They're in a great position, but they don't seem to have the legs today. Lutsenko, 2nd place, 5 seconds down, but they've got cards to play. With Hula at 30 seconds, Magnus Cort Nielsen at 35, they could throw some things at this and try and win the race. Slowly but surely they're being brought back. Eriksson on to the next part of the climb, looking back to see where everyone is, and he knows game is over. The race is coming back together with 17 kilometers to go. Peloton all together, and it's Wanty and Total who now have control. Eriksson goes to the side of the road again, looking to see if anyone's prepared to go with him, and he decides to up the tempo. Another group of riders. Here goes Warren Barguil onto the wheel, and Lutsenko tracks him. Eriksson still leading. Hearing on Radio Tour that Brian Cockard is being dropped. So is Stephen Cummings towards the back. Where is he? Let's take a look. He's quite a long way back here because he's with Mathieu van der Poel. Doesn't look like the climber's jersey is going to Dimension Data at this moment. Eiking sitting in a perfect position, 2nd wheel. He's looking for more points to seal this jersey competition up. If Eiking takes this, it will be 20 points to him. Then I think that's game over as far as the King of the Mountains is concerned. Barguil sitting now towards the front of the race. 4th place for him. Lutsenko on his wheel. Lutsenko needs to think about the next bonus. And odd Christian Eiking comes up to the line and he takes it, so he now has 20 points. Mathieu van der Poel not too far away. Warren Barguil took some points then, so 2nd was Tara May. And Bargiel in third place, taking some points, but Eiking took the bonus points. He now has 20, Cummings has 12, Kleiderberg has 11, and Slagter has 10. Back in towards Narvik, to the centre. Warren Barguil now sensing an opportunity as we see an attack, and I think it's Ryan Taramay who's just gone. Now Lutsenko attacks Barguil. Barguil looked around then and didn't react. And now he's got to react. I don't know what happened then, whether he suddenly was tired. But Ryan Taramay, former winner of the race, goes on the move. Barguil looked around, didn't see Lutsenko. He'd been riding okay till then, but now he's fallen a little bit further back. What is going on here? Next time round, we have the intermediate sprint. Barguil needs to move up. Loic Vliegen goes on the attack. Vliegen of Wanty now makes his move. And Janssen is there. Confirmation of the second of our climbs. Eiking with the maximum points. Lutsenko is going away. Barguil has got to react. 20 points to Eiking in the King of the Mountains. Barguil's in trouble here. Lutsenko is going away. Barguil now reacts. Flat out downhill. Loic Vliegen on the move. Whoa, through that corner so quickly. Barguil coming back up to the wheel of Lutsenko. He has to stay with the Kazakh rider. Lutsenko now is looking better than he was a little while ago. Loic Vliegen followed by Amund Janssen. Behind them, 2 wheels back, is Lutsenko on a search for some bonuses. This time round, there's 3 seconds, 2 seconds and 1 second. Barguil coming back up to the wheel. He took the first intermediate sprint today. That put him in a perfect position. But the Narvik circuit before has caused problems. Vliegen followed by Janssen. I think it's Lunker. Then possibly Nielands, but I can't quite see. Then Barguil, Lutsenko up there. Maybe looks a little bit more like Sparagli. It's not Nielands. So Loic Vliegen talking into his race radio. Janssen on his wheel. We're getting ready for the sprint. Barguil has got to be vigilant here. 1 kilometre to go to the intermediate sprint. With 1 lap to go, they'll get the bell. I don't know what happened to Barguil. He was okay, then suddenly looked around, let a gap go, and then he was in trouble. Looking to see where Nielands is. It must be him towards the front. But it looks more like Sparagli to me, and Nielands has been the rider who's been in their places overall. Van der Poel now has reached the front group. So has Ilnur Zakarin, who now goes on the attack. Well, they've come back, maybe starting to feel better. He has come back to the lead group, so Ilnur Zakarin goes on the move. People are getting a second opportunity here. Katusha been on the attack a lot. So Zakarin is going to take the point. Is Lutsenko going to sprint? Here he goes. Lutsenko going for the bonus seconds with Barguil on his wheel. And Lutsenko is going for this one. He fancies winning this race overall. They're going to get the bell with 1 lap to go. Lutsenko and Barguil side by side as they go for the line. So close. Looked like Lutsenko took it. It was a photo finish, and we wait for the result. Because this is going to come right down to the wire now. Who got the bonus? Here we go. Barguil and Lutsenko. Barguil can sprint. Lutsenko looks around. I don't know if he's got the legs today. But on the line, nope, Lutsenko takes it. Four seconds. 4 seconds now is the difference. There we are. Well, that's not right, because it wasn't Hula in second place. It was Warren Barguil. The race situation then is poised. 4 seconds is the difference between these riders. And there's a 10-second bonus, 6 seconds and 4 on the line. It is going to come down to the last sprint. This race is going to come down to the line between Lutsenko and Warren Barguil. This is fantastic. These two riders are together. And if they're together, and if Lutsenko wins and Barguil is second, they will be equal on time. Flick of the elbow. Barguil actually doesn't want to work with Lutsenko here. But he is working. So Lutsenko and Barguil, the first 2 riders overall, now riding away from the rest of the peloton. Now thinking about countback, think that whoever crosses the line first would be the winner. And that's why I don't know why Barguil is working with Lutsenko at all. He's putting himself in a position where he could lose the Arctic race. They go through this tight little corner. Barguil on the wheel of Lutsenko. Lutsenko's won the Tour of Oman twice. Stage winner Vuelta a España. Warren Barguil, 2 stage wins Tour de France. This is the race situation. 4 seconds separate the 2 riders. There's a 10-second bonus on the line. 6 seconds for second. 4 seconds for third. The King of the Mountains is going to go to Odd Christian Eiking. But who's going to win the race overall as Barguil tries to stay on the wheel? Mathieu van der Poel now in difficulty. What a race this is turning out to be as we head towards the finish. Little bit of a stalemate between these 2 riders. Lutsenko says to Barguil, work with me now. Just one more climb, the fast descent and the run into the finish. 7 kilometers remain. Narvik always hosts an intriguing finish to the Arctic race when it does. What is Warren Barguil thinking? Why is he even working with Lutsenko? I guess the easiest form of defense is to go on the attack. Cummings is in there. And now a counter-attack coming from the Israel Cycling Academy. As the race is slowly coming back together, it is Sparagli who's in here for Israel. I don't see Nielands, unless he's right on the back of the group. They continue to work now onto the climb. Thanks to Jeff, who's nearby me. He's just worked out that if Barguil, Lutsenko wins and Barguil is second, Barguil would still win the Arctic race by the addition of their places. Now we see Amund Jansen going on the attack. Amund Jansen, the Norwegian champion, trying to give Norway 2 wins in 2 days. Lutsenko goes with him. This is perfect for Lutsenko. He needs a place separating him and Barguil. Riders in all sorts of difficulty here. This is a really hard finish. Pascalon has gone. A little group of 5 riders going clear, led by Jansen. In the group is Lutsenko, Barguil. Also in the group, sitting on the back, is one of the riders from Dimension Data. Looks like Gasparotto. Gasparotto rides across. Nielands is there in the white jersey. So Nielands safely there too. He's 16, he's more than 16 seconds, no, 16 seconds down now. Fritz Nielands in that white and red jersey, and now an attack, and it comes from UNOX. This looks a little bit like Holgaard. Holgaard of UNOX now goes clear, lying 10th overall. And he's 52 seconds down. This would move him up. He's finished already many times in the top 10 of the Arctic race, and he's going to do it again. Now Jumbo-Visma try to accelerate. This young rider's superbly talented. He goes clear up the climb. Holgaard now leads, 5.9 kilometers to go. Stana with Hugo Hüller. Barguil's still there, Sparagli, Jansen, Nielands. Lutsenko's just trying to work out, how do I win this race? I need to win the stage. Here goes Lutsenko. Lutsenko goes on the attack. Barguil doesn't have the legs. Barguil does not have the legs here. Now he manages to push Hüller out the way. And Lutsenko goes for gold. Barguil now counter-attacks. Zakharin looks across. Barguil needs to get quickly on the wheel of Lutsenko. Can he do it? Lutsenko looks around. He realizes he's got a little bit of an advantage. Lutsenko took the second place points at the top of the mountain. Holgaard still on the attack. Barguil seems to just be hanging on here. Holgaard still leads. Jansen second place. Then it's Lutsenko. Then Nielands. A couple of wheels back is Barguil. It's 4 seconds separating the top riders. Lusenko's such a racer. He knows that there's a possibility of winning this race overall. Nielands comes flying up to the wheel of Lusenko. He looks a little bit steady through there. Holgaard now with the advantage. 4 kilometers, mostly downhill now in towards the finish in Narvik. But Janssen is coming up to him. The Norwegians have ridden superbly in this race this time. Barguil is peddling squares right now. He's leaving gaps all over the place. Gasparotto is on the wheel and Barguil recovers. Kalmajan on the wheel. 4 kilometers to go and we'll know who's going to win this race overall. Attack of Lilian Kalmajan. Stage winner Tour de France. Kalmajan goes clear now. Lusenko accelerates again. Still Holgaard has his lead. 3.8 kilometers to go. Kalmajan is riding across to him. Lusenko has a little advantage here on this group. Barguil hanging on the back. Confirmation then that Odd Christian Eiking has won the King of the Mountains. Lusenko on the wheel, up at the front. Just checking this is Kalmajan, it's not Taramay. Taramay, the former winner of this race. It looks like Kalmajan to me. Holgaard is there. Holgaard into the back of the motorbike, almost through that corner. But Lusenko is still there and Barguil is a few wheels back. Gil, to me, just looks like he's right on his limit. Holgaard still with this lead, looking superb. Goes through that corner nicely. And the rest of the riders coming up. Lusenko looks around again. Janssen on his wheel. Nielands looks around. They are looking to see where Barguil is. Lusenko moves to the left-hand side of the road. A reaction from Christian Sparagli. Sparagli now goes clear on the right-hand side. He goes through and attacks a little bit. But Holgaard, all of this is playing into his hands. Marcus Holgaard in time trial mode. 1,700 meters to go for this rider from Uno X. This would be a massive win for them on the final day. The World Tour teams will not want a continental team from Norway to take the final stage. 1 kilometer to go. Under the red kite for this young rider from Norway, Marcus Holgaard, going for gold to try and win this stage. 1,000 meters of time trialing to go. Behind them is Hula, then it's Sparagli, then it is Lusenko. There is Barguil, still with his jacket in his pocket. Anyone who talks about aerodynamics and saving watts wouldn't be happy about seeing that today. Onto this little rise now. Stephen Cummings is there. He fancies the stage win. For him or Gasparotto. At the back of the group from Rival is Lunka. Holgaard onto this final climb. 700 meters to go. Cummings is finding the pace now to try and bring him back. Stage winner in the Tour de France. Here goes Cummings now. He's had the King of the Mountains jersey. Now he's going for a stage victory. He's come out of the Tour de France with great form. Gasparotto leaves the gap. Amund Janssen now goes. Here goes Nielands looking for a victory too. Holgaard is being hunted down. 600 meters to go for the Norwegian. over the top of the climb, and he's being chased by two riders. Janssen now goes clear. Well, Lutsenko's looking for any possible way of getting this victory, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's let the riders go up the road. Two Norwegians going clear. Holgaard being hunted down by the World Tour rider Janssen. Is he going to get it? Don't look round now. Janssen's going to catch you on the line. Holgaard goes for the finish. 100 meters to go. Holgaard still is there. Lutsenko goes clear for the bonus. This could give him equal on time, but it's going to be a win for Norway. Holgaard takes it. Norway takes second with Janssen. Lutsenko takes the bonus of 4 seconds. Did he also take a 1 second bonus on the line from Barguil and take the win in the Arctic race? Was there a gap? That's the question now. What a win for Holgaard of UNO-X. Superb. But was there 1 second between Lutsenko and Barguil? Because if there was, the Arctic race has gone to Kazakhstan. Holgaard wins for UNO-X. He also finishes in the top 10 overall, but that is superb to see. Was there a gap between Barguil and Lutsenko? Here we are. He just holds on from Amund Janssen. Has Barguil won the Arctic race, or has Lutsenko clinched it in the finishing sprint? Here's the sprint, Barguil and Lutsenko goes away. Is there 1 second between these riders? Because if there is, then Lutsenko will win the Arctic race, and I think there is a second time gap. Barguil could have lost it on the finishing sprint. To me, Lutsenko will win the Arctic race, but we wait for confirmation. No doubt about the stage winner. That is Holgaard. Breathtaking finish. Let's take a look then, hopefully at the classification. That's going to tell us the story. Has Warren Barguil lost the Arctic Race of Norway in the final sprint? He's not sure. He's not celebrating. Here is Mathieu van der Poel in the green jersey, a man who has animated the race and given us that great win on day one. Mathieu van der Poel arrives at the finish line. We're still waiting for the judges to give us the decision. Barguil is asking in his radio, was there a second gap? He says he thinks there's a possibility there was a second. There's your answer. Lutsenko at 3 seconds, Barguil at 4. And by my calculations, there was a 4-second time bonus on the line and a 1 second. That would put them equal on time, and that means Lutsenko will win the Arctic race. But we wait for the classification to come up to absolutely confirm it. We wait for the classification, just being worked on by the judges. Barguil warming down here. He's still not sure. And I think it is going to be confirmed. No, he's still waiting for confirmation. Here's the classification. Lutsenko wins the Arctic race by 1 second from Warren Barguil and 19 seconds to Neilands. What a finish. Lutsenko, with that last sprint, will win the Arctic Race of Norway, stealing it by 1 second from the Frenchman Warren Barguil, who just couldn't go with the acceleration of Lutsenko. Bike races don't end any closer than that. Warren Barguil is going to be bitterly disappointed. He just didn't seem to have quite the legs on that final lap. But Alexei Lutsenko played that absolutely perfectly.
Marcus, you timed your attack perfectly. Did you plan that?
Yeah, I didn't plan exactly that, but that was one of the places I had planned to watch if it's possible, because when it flats out, normally the group stops and then it can be a perfect moment, so I just went for it.
Were you confident that you would stay away?
Yeah, I felt good all day and had really good help from my team, so I really believed in it today, and when I got the gap, then I knew it would be difficult to catch me, and I just went full gas to the finish, and luckily I made it.
You were on the podium of the Arctic race last year, but for second overall. Today, but as a winner, what is the best?
Oh yeah, it's I've always liked this race, and I've always been in good shape. So last year was second, and that was really good. But as a cyclist, you always dream of winning. So I rate this even higher.
Well done.
Wonderful victory by Marcus Holgaard. He's finished on the podium before. Now he takes a stage win. Perfectly executed. Flat out racing over the last few kilometers. But this is the story of the day. Lutsenko wins the Arctic Race of Norway by 1 second from Warren Barguil. Neilands at 19, Kalmajan at 23. Then it's Hüller, Lunker and Holgaard. Holgaard moving up into the top 6. A great day for Astana and a perfect steal by Lutsenko. This was the moves that went on. This is Amund Jansen making his move after Cummings was caught. Holgaard just in front. .500 meters to go, and it looked like Jansen was going to catch him. And coming into the finish line, Jansen was so close to catching him, but it didn't quite happen. Superb victory. Marcus Holgaard gets his first stage win in the Arctic race. Behind them, the story of the overall, Lutsenko and Barguil. 1 second between them.
You have won the Arctic Race of Norway, very tight finish. Do you believe it?
Yeah, but he now really finished. But I fight for day for CNGC,
But the last day, final, just 1 second. Yeah, for me, this is really big surprise. I want to thank you for my team for this work, but today, last moment, I try again for win bonus for second, and then in the final, third place, again for second, and then final just 1 second in GC. I'm really happy.
What does it mean for you to win the Arctic Race of Norway?
This one step before World Championships. Yeah, this is good step for like Yorkshire in the same parkour, but up and down. Yeah, but really nice race, and first time here. Yeah, but maybe for next year I come again for this race.
Well done, thank you.
Alexei Lutsenko wins the Arctic race on the final day. What a great race, the way it's been designed to bring us right down to the final day. And it came down to this, Lutsenko accelerating away. Barguil desperately trying to just limit the loss. He didn't have the team around him. Earlier today they looked great, but they left him totally exposed. Barguil sprinting for all he was worth. But Lutsenko, on this sort of finish, is a master.
Sunds I full begeistring oppe I Spikerbua passerer linja som vinner av 4. etappe av Arctic Race. Og det mange
We're getting ready then for the presentation of today's race and the overall classifications.
Så neste år tar steg opp I proffsirkuset.
That was Narvik Church, consecrated on the 16th of December 1925. The architect Olaf Nordhagen.
Den 7. rekken vi startet I 2013 og har fortsatt hvert år I august måned, så også I år, og det ryktes vel også at det kan bli august til neste år. Det er vel ingen stor sensasjon I det. Vi skal presentere på natta, det jo ofte sånn at de beste kommer opp, får sin velfortjente hyllest og sine trøyer. Vi skal også I dag premiere samlet for
confirmation of today's stage. Holgaard wins ahead of his compatriot Janssen, then it was Lutsenko in third, 1 second ahead of Barguil, then Sparagli, Kalmajan, Gasparotto, Zakharin, Nielands and Lunka. Norway with 3 riders in the top 10. We wait the arrival of the trophy and of the presentation of today's stage. Don't forget to vote for your teammate of the day. Here's your 4 riders. Wilsley of Astana, Bernard, Sparagli and Natarov. Over the last few days then we've seen some wonderful racing. We saw Mathieu van der Poel take stage 1. Cockard took stage number 2 for Vital Concept. Then it was the Norwegian Iking yesterday. And another Norwegian today with Holgaard, who takes stage number 4. Different jersey wearers, Mathieu van der Poel and Warren Barguil, and now Lutsenko, who hasn't worn the jersey yet, will wear it on the final day. Odd Christian Eiking will win the King of the Mountains. And the presentation about to get underway.
Ja, da vi skal bare vente til vi 100% klar for denne premieutdelingen. Det jo mye som skal gjøres.
Here comes the gruppetto, led by Dimension Data with Slagter, who was in the breakaway. I think the Arkea riders can't quite believe they've lost this race by a second. The broom wagon comes in, that's the end of the race, so everybody is safely in. And now we're ready for the podium presentation. Marcus Holgaard. Stage winner. And Erna Solberg, the Prime Minister of Norway, presents him with the winner's medal. A wonderful day for Norway as they take another stage victory in this race. Marcus Holgaard of UnoX is the stage winner of the final day of the Arctic race. Torhushoff on the podium as always. Marcus Holgaard, the leader, or the winner of the stage, sorry, with Janssen in second and Lutsenko, all important there, in third. The rider who gets the most combative rider, Ivergaard of the UnoX team. A good day for them. Iverberg is the rider who's been chasing the King of the Mountains all the time. This young rider, another very talented rider from UnoX.
Han kunne ha hatt den under kontroll hvis han har vært litt sterkere. Vi skal selvfølgelig gå videre på. Vi skal premiere den som har vunnet den gule med som jersey.
And the winner of the Arctic Race of Norway, Alexei Lutsenko of Astana. He wins by 1 second from Warren Barguil. Wonderful racing by the Kazakh champion.
utgaven av Arctic Race of Norway. Og så det scenic i
Alexei Lutsenko
som leverer ut trofé.
wins the Arctic Race of Norway, the 7th edition taken by the Kazakh champion.
Skal også ha trofé etter hvert.
And he goes over to say thank you to everyone.
Og vi skal også
1 second over Bargil, with Neelands of Israel in 3rd place.
Da skal vi fortsette videre. Da skal vi ha den grønne trøya.
Now we're ready for the green jersey.
Her kommer han, vinneren av den grønne trøya.
And he takes that as well on the final day. Lutsenko has stolen the jerseys.
Foran Mathieu van der Poel. Tok det på den her siste etappe. Den grønne trøya, Erna Solberg, som gjør han tydeligvis på at han har...
Mathieu van der Poel on the final day, just still recovering from that head cold. Not on his best form.
Og det Petter Høystedt Konstanse i Sparebanken Nord-Norge som deler ut en premie. Og
Alexei Lutsenko, the green jersey as well.
vi gir han en ordentlig applaus. Alexei Lutsenko!
Alexei Lutsenko wins by 3 points from Mathieu van der Poel, with Holgaard in 3rd place, a further 2 points behind. The king of the mountains, Odd Christian Eiking, of the Wanty Jobert team, the stage winner yesterday, secures the jersey as well.
Og Erna Solberg, statsminister Erna Solberg leverer ut synlige beviser på at Eiking tok den velkjente laksetrøya. Det er Harald Tom Nesvik.
And he wins the all-important 500 kilos of salmon. 500 kilos. That's a lot.
Da skal vi ha den beste unge rytteren i
20 points is total, 8 points ahead of Cummings in 2nd place. Best young rider, Krits Neelands from Latvia, riding for the Israel Cycling Academy.
Her har vi han som vant ungdomstrøya. Krits Neelands fra Latvia leder etter den siste etappen.
Krits Neelands of Israel Cycling Academy, best young rider.
Som deler ut trofé. Vi har fått mange premier som vi skal dele ut her. Vi skal sette oss på
Krits Neelands wins by 24 seconds from Holgaard and Janssen in 3rd. Wonderful light in this area tonight, as you can see.
Klokka 7 i morges, og da visste vi at det var for hit vi skulle for å gjennomføre de siste dagene. Da skal vi få det beste laget i Team Classification.
Shows how fast these riders went. The expected finish time was anywhere between 5:46 and 6:08. It's 6:01 and we've nearly finished the presentation. The best team is Astana, with the winner of the race and the rest of his teammates who rode so hard for him over the last few days.
Og så her det Stefan Solberg som deler ut I synlige bevisene. På Astana var det beste laget som vi hadde I årets utgave av Arctic Race of Norway. Og Jørn Jakobsen I Høna.
Off and off their team director there. And the team of Lutsenko, Fomenik, Wilsley, Hula, Natarov and Magnus Cort Nielsen.
Og blomster selvfølgelig fra verten her I Narvik, også med ordfører Østine.
The winning team, Astana.
Da skal vi snart se på den totale sammendraget. Ja, vi Astana en god oppmerksomhet her. Gjennom flott teamprestasjon. Det var det laget som hadde så best sammenlagt gjennom hele denne uka på de 4 etappene Astana.
Will Alexei Lutsenko figure in the World Championships now? That's going to help his form and his morale.
Vi hadde hele laget framme når vi kjørte 2/3 av etappen. Kommer der rytteren fra Astana her, og han fikk ikke også med seg den gule trøya helt på det siste.
Looking down on the Narvik ski resort. Cable car first opened in 1957 and renovated last year.
Da skal vi gå an og få frem og premiere de 3 beste I sammendraget I årets Arctic Race. Number 3, Chris Nielands, Latvia.
Now we see the podium. Chris Nielands of Israel. He finishes in 3rd place overall, 19 seconds down.
Then number 2, Warren Bargiel.
2nd place, and a disappointed 2nd place, I'm sure, for Warren Bargiel. He looks really desperately disappointed. The French champion was so close. He went out and he managed to secure the early bonus seconds. He just needed one more, and that was it. It looked to me like the legs just gave out. Lutsenko wins with that finishing sprint. Bargiel just could not go with the acceleration when it happened. Here comes the King's Guard, bringing the trophy to the stage. Tasked with protecting His Majesty King Harald of Norway, this is the 3rd company known around the world for all the extraordinary drill shows and musical performances that we've seen over the week. The trophy now being handed over to Aleksej Lutsenko by the Prime Minister of Norway. It carries the names of Thor Hushovd, Stephen Kreiswijk, Ryan Taramay, Dylan Toons and Sergei Chernetsky, as well as Gianni Moscon. And it will now have the name of Aleksej Lutsenko inscribed on it.
Det här ska bli stående uppe här. För vi ska ha ungdomsvinnarna från konkurrensen här på förmiddagen. Så vad som ska komma med eftervärt.
There's our podium then of the top 3 riders, Nielands, Bargiel and Lutsenko. Thor Hushovd just chatting to Warren Bargiel. And there we are. There's our riders as we leave.
We shall have the 3 best at the podium until we have the winners from the junior ride from this morning up to the podium together with this.
And we're going to bring on to the podium the winners of the Heroes of Tomorrow. They're going to join Aleksej Lutsenko up here. And we bring back all our jersey wearers. Here we are. And we have Odd Christian Eiking, Aleksej Lutsenko and Chris Nielands. It doesn't seem like we are having the Heroes of Tomorrow. I misheard that from our speaker. There's our green jersey then as well. He takes 2 jerseys at the end of the race. There's our top jersey wearers. Well, we're now at the end of this Arctic Race of Norway. And we are going to bring on the Heroes of Tomorrow. Here they are. Anna Shackley from Scotland with her trophy. And Dennis Grasvold with his trophy, winning the men's race. A very special moment for our Heroes of Tomorrow. Anna Shackley's making a bit of a name for herself. She was the top Scottish rider in the Women's Tour of Scotland last week. And there we are. There's our picture of all our top riders. Narvik has hosted a great final stage of this race, as always. And the Prime Minister's just speaking to the people of Narvik at the moment as we look out over this city, a place that hopes to host the Ski World Cup.
Alle fra Forsvaret, alle som har bidratt til at dette blitt en folkefest. Og det betyr ikke minst dere, alle de som har stilt opp langs veien og sørget for at dette har blitt et arrangement, også for de som har fulgt på TV, som viser Norge som et land, ikke bare med vakker natur, men også med blide, glade mennesker som stolt av det landet vi bor i, og som sørger for at dette landet blir enda bedre. Og så det jo sånn at Narvik en fantastisk by med langårshistorie. Dere holder på å få et fantastisk anlegg her oppe. Jeg blitt orientert om at dere egentlig har lyst til å arrangere mer enn Arctic Race. At det kunne være gøy å få lov å, på vinteren også lage folkefest. Så det håper jeg at vi får til. Og se at vi får ski-VM til Narvik også i fremtiden. Og sørge for at den gleden, dugnadsfesten som her, også kan vises for alle de som opptatt av ski og fremtiden. Sørge for at nasjonen Norge viser seg både fantastisk om sommeren, fantastisk om vinteren. Men først og fremst, tusen takk til alle de som har stått på, alle arrangørene. Det fint at vi også har sponsorer som stiller opp. Jeg husker å si det til de også, sånn at de kommer neste år også. Og ikke minst, tusen takk til alle folk fra starten ytterst til Lofoten, helt inn til Narvik, for å ha gjort dette til Norges reklame av topp kvalitet, både fordi vi har de vakreste omgivelsene, men også de gladeste folkene og den flotteste dugnadsinnsatsen. Så tusen takk.
Erna Solberg of Norway, the Prime Minister. Here's Alexei Lutsenko.
Alexei, did you speak with Warren Barguil on the podium?
No, no, in Barguil, good guy, but as this race is normal. One day you win, one day you lose. This last year, me in December, which Tour of Turkey. Last day I'm lose 0 second. No, but this race, see you maybe for next time. Which race now? I'm okay. I think Barguil also good.
You have the Midnight Sun jersey, the North Cape trophy. How do you feel about the Arctic Race of Norway?
Yeah, perfect race for me in the last day. Good moment. Tomorrow I go into my home, which is this trophy. Yeah, stay maybe 1 week recover and then start again with Dutch Tour and after Dutch Tour, I go in altitude before World Championships. Tour of this race a good step before World Championships.
Spasiba.
Well, he's worked a lot on his English. He couldn't speak any at the beginning of the year. He now can. He can now answer his questions in English, and we get to understand what he's thinking. Alexei Lutsenko continues. Here we go with Neilands.
Yes, for sure. It's a good result for me, and it's a good result for the team. I'm really happy about my performance and all what team did. It was a good week for us, good 4 days, and I think we have to be proud about this result, because if you see the guys on the podium, they are the best in the world. So yeah, it's nice to be there.
Thank you.
Chris Neilands making more progress all the time for Israel Cycling Academy, which, as we heard during the race, has beefed up its roster with Dan Martin.
Yesterday you got what you wanted, the stage win. Today again with the Salmon jersey.
Yeah, I saw after yesterday's stage that surprisingly I was second in this classification, just 2 points behind. And I was not sure I was gonna go for it. Cummings is a strong rider, and then during the laps I figured why not, and I felt quite good, and yeah, I went all in for the Salmon jersey.
You look very strong. Has the Tour de France made you a much stronger rider now?
Yeah, I was, as I've said before, I wasn't so happy with my performance in the Tour, so I was quite motivated before Arctic to take some kind of revenge.
Well done, thank you.
Well, he certainly has taken some revenge. He takes the King of the Mountains jersey and a stage. But the story of today is this: Lutsenko clinches the stage in the final sprint from Barguil, 1 second the difference. Neilands in third, and that's the makeup of the top 10 riders.